By far the best race of the season. You should have seen the absolute carnage that unfolded during that amazing Grand Prix. Definitely race of the season. If not, race of the century. Canada 2011? Pfft, eat your heart out. You had Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas, Charles Leclerc, Sebastian Vettel, all battling for the lead. You had Leclerc ahead, then Bottas, then Hamilton, then Vettel, then Bottas, then Hamilton, then Leclerc. It was absolutely incredible. Turn one, how could you not have missed that? Daniel Ricciardo going in the back of Pierre Gasly, taking out, and Gasly went in the side of Max Verstappen. Both Red Bulls out. Cyril Abiteboul going absolutely crazy at the both Red Bull drivers, and of course the Christian Horner. Those two come down the pit lane, had a big fight. Anthony Joshua, no. You want to see Cyril Abiteboul against Christian Horner? That was an absolute blood match. You know, both guys got arrested, took away from the grid, and you had the Red Bull Renault rivalry lighting up once again. Williams, how did they do? They had an absolutely incredible weekend. Well, I say weekend, race to be precise. Both cars in the points, absolutely amazing Grand Prix. What about the rest of them? Well, the midfield had a good tussle, didn't they? But unfortunately, it was of course Lance Stroll who claimed the last point, and is set for a Ferrari drive next season. And then I woke up during the race, had a mid-race snooze. Nothing changed, and I wake up to a Mercedes 1-2 again. Oh well, we can all dream, can't we? I'm not going to lie, that was an absolutely boring Grand Prix. I mean, what was I really expecting? I was expecting more than that, I'll be honest with you, but I mean, oh my god, I mean, I know I did say during the season, well, a couple of episodes ago on the F1 Debate Show, that the season isn't getting boring because of the Mercedes 1-2 domination. It's still not, but I just want more battle in between, you know, not just the front runners, but the midfield guys as well. I mean, there was a little bit of excitement at the end. The directors, by the way, thank you very much for that, for not allowing us to see Lando Norris's, you know, fall from grace, if you like. Stunning race from him, by the way. I'll get into that in a little bit, but yeah, something needs to be sorted out with them with the bloody cameras and the stewards as well. Another controversial decision. But before we always go, before we actually talk about the Grand Prix, let's dive into the race classifications. At time of recording, by the way, because you know some things can change between now and probably when you say this tomorrow. So Lewis Hamilton, comes up and take another victory. Valtteri Bottas in second place. Charles Leclerc another podium. That's 2 races in a row now. He's got a podium. Good race from him. In P3, Max Verstappen in P4, Sebastian Vettel, poor qualifying, average race, P5 from him. P6, Carlos Sainz, very good weekend from McLaren, showing some really good pace. P6, absolutely solid for Carlos Sainz. 7th place, Daniel Ricciardo. 8th place, Kimi Raikkonen in the Alfa Romeo. 9th place, Nico Hulkenberg, and round off the top 10, you had Lando Norris. Anyways, 11th place, Pierre Gasly. I mean, the pressure still mounts on the Frenchman at his home Grand Prix. Not a good weekend for the French drivers. 12th place Sergio Perez, 13th place Lance Stroll, 14th place Danny Kvyat, 15th place Alexander Albon, 16th Antonio Giovinazzi, 17th Kevin Magnussen, 18th Robert Kubica, 19th George Russell, and only one retirement, which is of course Romain Grosjean. Right, so let's jump into the Grand Prix. So, from what you can anyway. So at the start, Hamilton got away very solid, very solid. Sebastian Vettel from P7 had a bit of a dodgy start. He didn't get away that well. You had pressure from Norris, and you had pressure from Pierre Gasly on the other side. Not Norris, sorry, it was Ricciardo. Both pressured from those two drivers. Ricciardo kind of backed off in a way. Pierre Gasly went a bit wide. Vettel claimed position, and it was pretty much, set in from them. From then on in, you had both Mercedes run away into the distance. Leclerc was just in no man's land, really. But there was a bit of a controversial decision that occurred in the first couple of corners, because Sergio Perez went wide, and obviously at the first corner, I think it was turn 2 or turn 3, went a bit wide. Then he went onto the the little bollard that they have. So when you do go wide, you've got to take that route. It's like a penalty kind of route. It just saves the stewards having to go, did he gain an advantage or not? He went through the bollard, came back onto the track, but he was 2 places ahead of the position of was when he went off the track, and then he got a penalty. And that caused a bit of a stir, because the Sky commentators were saying that it's Stonewall penalty, no doubt about it. I think Anthony Davidson was saying on the Sky pit wall, and then when you had a look at the replay, it looked like, well, he did follow the rules that were set in place, and then he still ended up getting 2 positions, and he got a penalty anyway. So really, it was inevitable he was going to get a penalty. So a bit of a strange one. I think they'll look into that, not just for next year's Grand Prix, but for the remaining Grand Prix as well. Just make sure that the bollard is in a reasonable place so that the drivers who do go wide and do choose to go down that route will definitely not gain an advantage. Therefore, this confusion will, it won't happen like this. And from the action that we saw last weekend, it won't be this bad, but it's still something worth talking about. I mean, during the case of the Grand Prix, it was just nothing. Vettel had a blip of a chance trying to undercut. I think it was Max Verstappen. That didn't work out for him. I think Ferrari were expecting him to be a lot faster than he was. That wasn't the case. Vettel, whole position, P5. I mean, to be fair, he was always going to get the McLarens, wasn't he? I think he was at P7. He had both McLarens at P6 and P5. He was always going to get them. I understood that, but I mean, to be fair, he should have got higher positions than what he did. Podium positions, was probably the maximum he was going to get. But even still, P5 is absolutely disappointing for Sebastian Vettel. And again, the pressure does mount on the German. So my team, McLaren. Now I was optimistic. Well, I wasn't optimistic, but I was looking forward to this race. P5, P6, solid qualifying. I knew the threat from behind of Vettel. I knew that was going to be the case, but we did maintain position, throughout the majority of the Grand Prix. P6 and P7. That's all we were going to get. Norris, about 5 laps away. He had a hydraulics issue. DRS couldn't be used. Then he was getting a problem with the steering and stuff, and everything just started going wrong on his car. He lost positions. I think he went from P7 to P10 in the last lap, which the TV crew didn't even show, which is very, very annoying because they were concentrating on the battle between Leclerc and Bottas, which was close. But come on, I think we do want to see that what's going to happen between the incident between Norris and the other drivers as well, who was there was a lot more cars involved in that, but obviously they chose to show the top guys, didn't they? So that was a bit disappointing, and obviously a bitly disappointing race weekend race for McLaren, at least. Solid qualifying, disappointing Grand Prix for Haas Energy. For Rich Energy Haas. Very, very poor weekend, wasn't it? Kevin Magnussen not happy with the car. Romain Grosjean retired. And to be fair, I don't know what is going to go. What is going to go forth for Haas now? It's just not the season that they were hoping for at the moment. They are going through a bit of a dodgy patch, but let's hope that at some point that the season will turn around. At some point that they will start delivering some good results. I think Grosjean is getting a bit sick of being there. And to be fair, if this form does keep on going, I think Grosjean may leave the Haas F1 team, if not the sport altogether, because I think, to be fair, it has been a very abysmal couple of years at Haas for Romain Grosjean. Started off well, past couple of years has not, it hasn't really gone that well, has it? And yes, obviously, and the retirement as well. But I mean, oh my god, it was just such a boring Grand Prix. I'm literally drained after watching that, and just nothing happened. Something needs to be done to excite these races. Don't get me wrong. And now let me know your suggestions or your opinions in the comment section below about today's Grand Prix. Driver of the day. I don't know. Carlos Sainz. All right, let's go for Carlos Sainz. P6, good job from McLaren. But even that, I think, to be fair, no one really fully deserved driver of the day. You could say Hamilton because he won the Grand Prix. Leclerc because he got another podium. But that's literally it. I think there was just nothing. No one impressed me at all throughout this Grand Prix. Both McLarens did, but of course I will see that better than anybody else because I'm a fan. But no, I think for me this is a very boring Grand Prix. 2 out of 10. For entertainment wise, and to be fair, I just want to forget about this Grand Prix. Move on to Austria. Hopefully that will be a better Grand Prix. But that's where I'm going to leave this review. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, go and check out the F1 debate show that came out yesterday. That involved Jonty's Corner. Lovely guest that we had on yesterday, discussing about Esteban Ocon's future in Formula 1 and Formula E. Where's it going to go next season? That's a good episode. Recommend go and watch that, and go and subscribe to Jonty's channel, who was our guest yesterday. And don't forget to check out our content for next week. Same as this weekend, we're going to have the Austrian preview on the Thursday, the F1 debate show on the Saturday, and then of course the Austrian Grand Prix review on the Sunday with yours truly once again. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching this review. That's if you are still awake, by the way. If you're on around here, then please like and subscribe as well. And until next time, I'll see you later.